All right, guys. I'm here with Nick, Liv, and Bruce. I want to do a I want to do a quick interview with you guys. We'll keep it really short. What I wanted to do with this, like when I always listen to other interviews with people on land, like there's like five questions that I really care about as a listener, and I feel like they never get answered on like interview style podcasts. So those are like the things that I want to ask. Primarily stuff about like if I was a first timer coming into land, because usually the people that listen to this stuff are people that are wanting to get into land and haven't done anything. So like what are things that could help them start, if that makes sense. So before we get into it, do you guys want to maybe just like explain who you are, maybe your dynamic, and then how long you've been in land?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Liv.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry.
my name's Olivia, and my brother Nick on the call. We started together, and then my husband Colin kind of recently joined on as our teams kind of progressed, and we've gotten better systems in place. But what was the other question? I'm sorry, Mike.
How long have you been doing land, like total before we started working together?
Mm.
Hmm.
Nick, what was it?
Probably 6 months, 9 months, somewhere in there.
Total?
Yeah.
And then how long have we been working together?
About a year, a little
Oh,
bit
so
over a
you
year.
did 6 months before, and then we've been working together for about a year.
Yeah, we joined an education program. We kind of floundered around the course for a while. We didn't know how to figure the system out, and then we hopped on with you. Yep.
Okay. What did you guys do before land? Liv, you're a nurse. Nick, you ran your own business?
Yeah, online fitness coaching business. Yep.
Okay. And Liv, you're still working as a nurse.
Right.
Still working as a nurse. Yep.
Nice.
So nothing
Okay.
to do with land.
Yeah. Um, and Bruce.
I was in sales and I did some restaurant marketing stuff. That's
Nice.
what I do.
Okay, you guys don't have to throw out like real numbers if you don't want to. But since we started working together, where do you think you're like, and I don't think we've hit 12 months yet, but where are you guys going to end at on the numbers for the end of the year as far as everything that's closed? And then we don't want to take everything in projected pipeline profit, but let's call 50% of pipeline profit plus what would the remaining of the 12 months would be. Where do you think you guys will be?
Yes, we started working with you. We've closed through 225 of profit that's come through. We have another 70 in pipeline right now. So whatever, 325 or so. Our goal for this year, it's August now, so finish out the year. We want to hit 450K of top line. So that's going to be our goal in the last 5 months is to hit that. But in the last 12, T12 from here, though, 225 was 70K in pipeline.
Nice. And before we started working together, if you could think of like one or two things that changed in your guys' business that helped you guys start closing some deals, what would you say it was?
Well, a few things for reference. When we paid for that course prior to working with Mike, I mean, it was good for learning what even is land investing. What is that? Because you're using all these terms coming in for me for nursing. I'm like, all right, we got to dumb this down a little bit, right? We got to learn. And so, that was good in theory, but we still were struggling with knowing what to do, how to actually implement it. We're like, we understand we were flipping land, how does that actually work? What are the numbers? What should be our targets? Like what type should we do? Subdivisions or acreage bands or subdivides? And there's so many, it can get overwhelming. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. And so the reason we even wanted to, we saw Mike, we talked with him a few times, and we're like, hey, we really like how simple he made it. It doesn't have to be this big
Mhm.
complex thing. I mean, even though there are some big numbers and a lot of ways to do it, it's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. And so we like the simplicity of, working with you, Mike, and you're like, hey, we're going to set some basic foundational targets. And so we met with you and you kind of helped us to like break it down, like kind of from the beginning, actually, because we really,
Yeah.
Nick, would you
Yeah.
agree we were pretty lost?
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. We're very like we needed like here's the next actionable step to take to go in the right direction. And it was pretty
Yeah.
unclear to us what that was previously. So
Yeah.
Mike was like very good at simplifying things to know like what's going to actually move the needle this week and this
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to touch on you like doing the next thing. And Liv, you said like what you're kind of like, you understand the general premise of it, but like, how do we actually go and run this thing? If you were like speaking to somebody who is just starting out in land, what would you tell them are like two or three things that they should be focusing on? Because a lot of people come in and they're like, I need to spend all my time doing this and building spreadsheets and doing, and they get stuck in this like paralysis by analysis mode. So if you could give like two things or three things that they should be focusing on and literally just that, what would those things be?
Yeah. I'll say it, Nick, and then you tell me what you think as well. But I would say for me, the thing you simplified the most and helped us just to not make this thing so complex was, okay, what are our goals and what do we want to get out of this? Because that helps determine maybe what type of deals we're going to do. You know, are we interested more in the subdivisions or acreage bands, or what's the type? Like what's our target, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
I would say then you taught us to get good at analyzing markets. So getting really good at the market selection piece, learning, okay, what is a good market? Where are the good markets to mail to? What makes it a good market outside of just the genie and the sell-through rate, and getting good at that stuff. And then the third thing would be the target amount of mailers that we're wanting to hit based off our goals as well. It kind of ties into it. And so that consistency you really taught us, Mike, was important, because you can get really caught up in all these big numbers and, like you said, the spreadsheets, and then you can get this analysis paralysis that you want to make money, but then you're scared to put yourself out there and keep being consistent, even right away when you're not really seeing that result. And so I would say, yeah, it was goals, which determines the type. It was the market selection, and then mailers consistently.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
sir.
because right before this call, we were just talking about how there was months where you would get 5 deals in 1 month, and that's like 2,000 letters a deal. And then you go a month where you only get 1 deal, and then another month where you get 2 deals. Where like if somebody's just starting out, you don't have this like huge budget to invest into land. If you have one of those dry months when you first start, well, then you kind of roll over and say this business doesn't work. Whereas if you can be consistent in this thing, that's where people have the most success. From my experience, the number one reason people fail in land by far is because they can't be consistent. That's it. It's
Yeah.
not like a sales problem. It's not like a pricing problem or a market selection. It's a consistency problem. So people come in and they spend their entire budget on like month one or month two before they really know what they're doing, and they don't get any deals, or they get 1 deal and they kind of stop, rather than like spreading out their budget over 4 to 6 months and then being consistent. So like if people could just have a little bit of consistency, like the chance of success would be so much higher.
Yeah.
I say this business, it's a very simple business model, right? Like we buy and sell land. It's very simple. There's no like rehabs, houses, anything like that. It's a very, very simple business. But it's not easy in the sense of, if you send out a campaign of mailers and you don't get a deal, you have to do it again. And if you don't get a deal, you have to do it again and again and again. So the model is simple. It's just buy land, sell land. But what's difficult about it is being consistent when you're not getting deals, and just trusting the fact and trusting the process that eventually deals will come in. And like the people that can't trust that process typically fail. Whereas if you can just kind of commit yourself to it, say, I'm gonna allocate this amount of money over this amount of time, and I'm gonna commit myself to the business, it's pretty difficult not to go make some money in the space. Um,
Yeah.
what does your guys' business look like now, as far as like what are you doing for marketing, like cold calling, cold texting, mail, and then what type of transactions are you doing as far as like cash close, funders, and then double closes?
Yeah, we send 10,000 mailers a month. We only do mail. We send mostly small pocketed subdivisions, 75% or so. The rest are more broadband mailers. We primarily double close, like 73 out of 4 deals are double close. We'll use funders for the rest. Last couple deals we bought with our own money, just having a little bit on the sidelines for if we feel really confident with it. And yeah, we'll probably just keep scaling mail because that's what's working right now before we add on another lead gen channel.
So 10,000 mailers a month, pipeline, hopefully at the end of the 12 months, 10,000 mailers a month, we should be right around 400,000 top line
Yep.
is the
Yep.
goal. Now, obviously,
Cool.
some deals might not close, some deals may do worse, so maybe slightly less, but that's the goal. How many
Yep.
hours do you think you work sending 10,000 mailers a month?
That'd be Liv and Brucie, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I would say I probably anywhere between we got a system down. Once it's down in the beginning, it took a little bit longer, but now that the system's down, I want to say I'm probably around 10 to 15 hours a week to get to that 10,000 mark.
Yeah.
And we started out, we were pretty slow, I would say. And we're still working on getting better and better, but right away it takes a while just because you're trying to make sure you're not just picking out all these crappy markets, but then also not that analysis process, it's the balance of both of them. And so it
Yeah.
took a while to learn how to pull and just how to do different kind of methods on Land Insights or whatever method you're using. But I feel like we've gotten a lot better just over time, just doing it so much, and even like your tips, Mike, of spreadsheets. He's the spreadsheet whiz of, Excel. And so just learning those kind of things
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
helps a lot.
Yeah, I think the kind of like benchmark for where people should expect to be in land, assuming that everything else is half decent, right? Like we don't have to be perfect on the phone or perfect pricing, but assuming everything is half decent, if we could send 10,000 letters a month, it usually takes about 20 hours. You guys are slightly less, but you guys have pretty good systems, and there's a few of you working. So, I want to be conservative and say 20 hours a week to do 10,000 letters a month. That'll usually make us anywhere from like 250 to like 450, 500,000 at 10,000 letters a month. As you guys have seen, sometimes you'll do deals where you make like 7 grand, and then you guys did a deal where you make 70. So like a couple of those big deals, and we're on the upper side, maybe even slightly more, maybe 250 to 500. Obviously a pretty big range because, sometimes we get lucky, we get good deals, bad deals, but, that's kind of like the benchmark, I feel like, where people need to be. So, when you're in the day to day of sending out mailers, it might seem like it's taking a lot of time. But if we take a step back and be like, it's 20 hours a week, or, even like 15 hours a week, it's really not that much to go make, 300, 400 grand a year, whatever it is at 10,000 mailers. Whoever's watching this, for somebody who's watching this and is wanting to get started in land, if you guys could go back to when you just started and start all over again, what would you guys do differently?
Well, for one, we would hire you right away. We wouldn't wait the
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah,
A
I
lot.
like to pay to play. Like I do really, we do, I think Liv does too. Like we, with a one-on-one sort of give me advice and input and guidance and that sort of thing. So I would for sure get that sooner than later, because it's a lot more expensive to wait 6 months or a year and do stuff wrong and spend money on mail. And it seems
Yeah.
like you're saving money, but you're burning time and your own money, versus you just pay a little more upfront to get expert guidance and, get a big return on that a lot
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
pay. You're gonna pay either way, whether you just like pay in marketing costs or time, or pay by
Yeah.
getting like a mentorship or something. Either way, you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we had 6 more months of doing the right thing from the beginning, that would have,
Yeah.
we'd be further along, right? So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, if this is helpful for anybody, I didn't join the business right away. It was Nick and Liv's idea, and they were kind of running it for 6 months on their own. And I was just kind of hearing their calls, just kind of like a fly on the wall watching the business go. And I know they were kind of frustrated, some good things, some bad things. Well, then as soon as I started working with you, I was listening to your guys' calls. You didn't even know I was listening to them. I was just hearing out. I'm like, man, this Mike dude knows what he's talking about. And then I started coming around, and I thought, oh, then all of a sudden checks started coming in. I thought, honey, what have I been doing? I should hop in on this. So I started learning how to price, and then I kind of started to join the team, but I wasn't even all on board right away. I was kind of skeptical. And when I started working with you, results started coming in, and I thought, I got to get to know this guy. So if that helps at all, I wasn't, it's all right to be a little skeptical in the
Yeah.
beginning, but
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead,
oh,
Liv.
you go ahead. I was just gonna say, I feel like the one thing too I would do, not only get, mentorship right away, save the mental stress. Like you know what's going on. It's a lot less stressful when you don't have to think about it yourself. You're actually taking advice from somebody that's had results. So it's not theory based, right? And then the other thing you taught us a lot of just setting a target goal and sticking to it and getting
Yeah.
through the mental game of like it does when you're not getting results right away and you're sending out mail. And I feel like it always kind of takes a few months just to catch up from what you did. And so it's like if you taught us if you start, stop all the time, you're just gonna run yourself just just up the wall, just being so stressed, a lot of work you did because you're not building that momentum. And so I would
Yeah.
just set a goal and obviously not just send out a bunch of stuff and you're not thinking about it or not putting effort into it, but set a goal and hit it even on the hard months, I guess.
Yeah, I think I want to touch on that because you said set a goal and not kind of like deter from it or try something else. I think you guys
Yeah.
probably fell into this a couple of times too, where we're like 3 or 4 months into mail and maybe we're not seeing those results right away that we wanted. And you guys wanted to jump into like texting or cold calling or just like try other things. And I was really big on just like, let's just get really, really good at this one thing and then we can add them in. And you guys are
Yeah.
at the point now where you're really good at the one thing and we still haven't added them in. But I think a lot of times people come in and they'll try one marketing channel and they don't see instant success. And then they want to try another marketing channel and they don't see instant success. So they try another. It's like if you could just do one thing for some amount of time, you'll be successful. So people have a really hard time with like consistency in any space of the business is whether it's like the marketing channel that you're doing, consistently marketing whatever channel it is, like getting on the phones, following up, just like consistency across the board, people struggle with. Um, and people love to jump marketing channels. So like you said, Liv, set it if your goal is 450,000 at the end of 12 months, let's just work backwards from there. If we know it's going to take us 3,500 mailers, I need to send this many mailers, this much spread per deal, and just hit your goals every single month. And then you have to trust
Yeah.
the process. And we start like jumping from marketing channel, that's when things break.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And bottom line is, you know what you're doing. You've done it for years. You've had results. Like we haven't done that. So you have to also humble yourself and be like, we don't know what the heck we're doing. We wanted you to teach us what to do. So we have to listen because
Yeah.
you can say, yeah, sure, I'll go send 10,000 mailers. But when it comes down to it, are you really going to do it? Even on a month, you don't really see that return. And honestly, since we ramped up and, have done what you've told us to do, Nick, can agree with that. We've never not seen a return on that. We've been very thankful that we have trusted that process and done it. We wish we would have done it probably a little sooner. And so we're really thankful that we just have just listened, I guess, to what you're saying, and hope we continue to do that.
Yeah, well, it's hard from somebody coming in. I appreciate that, Liv. But where you don't have like a track record to fall back on, like it's easy for me to say, "Oh, you didn't get a deal with your last 5,000 mailers, do it again." Like because like I've seen it where I've sent out a lot of mailers and not gotten deals, and then you just consistency, and then the next batch of mailers maybe you get double, right? Like that's just the name of the game. But it's easy for me to you just have to keep doing it when I've seen it. So if somebody new coming in, it's difficult for them to like really trust that or kind of wrap their head around like I have to keep spending money and I don't have deals. Why would I do this? So like it kind of goes back to like really, really trusting that this will work as long as you're consistent. Okay, last question, and then we'll wrap this thing up. What is your guys' goal for the next 12 months as far as like a revenue number, or I don't really love talking revenue, I guess, gross profit number, any like marketing channels, just general business goals.
I mean, I think we'd like to do $1 million next year if we can. It'd be a lot more mail or adding another marketing channel, but we'd like to step it up a notch here, and we know what we're doing. Yeah, we probably strap another marketing channel on if we get to, I don't know, 20,000 letters consistently, and you think it's time to do that. And I think we can do that probably with the team we have. I mean, I don't know, maybe we have to add on one more VA or something, but the cool thing about this business too is you can do a lot with not that many people. And so the margin can be really, really solid compared to other businesses I've run. You don't have to have like a million people in all these different seats, and it can be very like systematized along the way, like a conveyor belt. So I like that a lot. But yeah, that's gonna be our goal, $1 million next year.
Yeah, I think that the cool thing about the business is a very linear approach. It's like if you want to do X, you put in Y. And if you want to do
Yeah.
more of X, you do more of Y. It's a very like
Mhm.
linear way of thinking. Cool. So the
Mhm.
goal over the next 12 months, $1 million gross profit, potentially adding another marketing channel.
Yep,
Mhm.
I think
All right.
so.
And
Yep.
kick nursing
Yep.
to the side.
Yeah, no more
Yeah.
nursing.
Yeah, get live out.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get that going for you guys. I appreciate you guys doing this.
Yep.
If anybody is watching this and wants to learn more, you can head on over to landflippingsimplified.com, get on a call with either myself or somebody from my team. We'll walk you through everything and see if you're a good fit. But and other than that, I'll see you guys on the next call.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mike.
it.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate
See
you.
you.
All
See
right.
ya.